Welcome to More Than a Lawyer with your host, attorney Christy Crow. This is a podcast that highlights the amazing acts of service that lawyers perform all over the country. You can find this show on all the major platforms, including YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on our website, www.jinxcrow.com. Now here's the host of More Than a Lawyer, Christy Crow.
Welcome back to More Than a Lawyer. This is one of my favorite kind of episodes to do because I get to talk to folks that I already know and find out the amazing things that they're doing that I might not know that they're even doing. So welcome to the show, Leslie Rubio. She's a friend of mine from Birmingham. We've been friends for years and work in the same kind of practice. And we're excited to have you here. Welcome, Leslie.
Hey, Christy. Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
So I know we're going to talk a lot about what you do outside the courtroom and outside your practice, but first tell us a little bit about your practice there in Birmingham and what your firm is all about.
Well, I practice with my husband at the Rubio Law Firm, and my practice primarily centers around single event personal injury cases, so wrecks with 18-wheelers, motorcycles, and we represent a lot of the immigrant population of Alabama. We have cases all over the state, so have an interesting perspective on where a person's undocumented status kind of reaches a nexus with their civil case.
I'm sure that that is an issue that is becoming more and harder to navigate through, even though it's not supposed to be admissible in court. If someone has a case that involves an undocumented injured person, what do you recommend that they do if they're having to navigate through those?
Well, certainly seek legal counsel. And if they are asking a lawyer whether or not they can bring a claim and that lawyer doesn't know, then hopefully they reach out to a lawyer that does know or can advise them correctly. But no matter your immigration status, you have access to the courtroom if you have been injured. And so I hope that people other than lawyers are aware of that because it's important to know.
Definitely. I know where I live and practice, there is a fairly large number of undocumented workers. And it's so sad to see that sometimes they don't access the court system if they've been injured in a car wreck or injured at work because they're afraid of their documentation status. I guess would that be what I would say?
Yes. And also we see a lot of times that individuals who may be undocumented or maybe insurance companies believe that they are undocumented will deny claims that they should have accepted responsibility for, hoping that that person may just go away or give up because maybe they're undocumented and don't want to push the issue.
Yeah. And again, if someone is listening to this and represents an undocumented injured person or is an undocumented injured person or knows an undocumented injured person, the number one thing they can do if they don't know what to do is get in touch with somebody like Leslie and Freddie and their firm, because it's important that everybody gets justice through the court system for sure.
Absolutely.
So I know we could talk all day about what you do inside the courtroom and the great work that your firm is doing, but this show is more about what you do outside the courtroom. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is your new role at the Birmingham Bar Association. Tell us first what the Birmingham Bar Association is and what it does and why you got involved.
So the Birmingham Bar Association is a voluntary bar association that is open to lawyers who practice within Jefferson County in Alabama. And the association supports its members through CLE programming, social events, networking opportunities. I quickly became a member of the Birmingham Bar right after becoming licensed as a lawyer because several people encouraged me to do it and said it was a great organization. And throughout the past 16 years I've been a member, it has really helped foster me as a professional and as a lawyer. And I've made some lifelong friendships with other lawyers and now judges. So it's just been a great organization for me personally, and I want to give back to it.
Well, I'm a member of the Birmingham Bar Association, so I could talk about this some, but I know you've got a lot more familiarity of why would someone who's listening to this, whether they're in Birmingham and considering joining the Birmingham Bar Association, or in another state or county and considering a local bar association membership, why would you join a local bar association when you're already a member of the Alabama State Bar or your state bars or a national bar association?
I think that by joining a local bar just gives you an opportunity to dig in a lot closer to your local practitioners and to make some connections with colleagues who may be great referral sources or ways to get business. And then also having those relationships may help you in cases, especially if it's an attorney that is on the other side of you. You already have that relationship with them, and so it's going to help your case run smoother because you have a working relationship with them from a connection through the Birmingham Bar.
I know it also, the Birmingham Bar and many other local bar associations have volunteer opportunities where you can work in your community, not only to provide legal help, but also other volunteer opportunities. What kind of things does the Birmingham Bar do in the Birmingham community to help out folks up there?
Well, so this year we have an interesting offering for Law Day. We are going into the classrooms. We are partnering with Build Better Basics and reading to children at Norwood Elementary and Avondale Elementary. And then once the either lawyers or judges who are members of our bar finish their reading, they then give a copy of the book to all of the children in the classroom, so they get to build their library. On Martin Luther King Day, one of the service projects was Books to Prisons, where lawyers signed up to volunteer to write letters back to prisoners who had requested certain books. And those books were being provided to the prisoners along with a letter back. So they were receiving some correspondence from members of our community outside. We are going into the Birmingham City Schools also on Law Day, and it is lawyers in the classrooms. So lawyers who are graduates of Birmingham City Schools are going back to their alma maters, their high schools, and they are talking about their pathway and journey from graduating that Birmingham City school and coming back as a lawyer or some other legal professional.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, Law Day is the 1st of May. And so hopefully this will be out. We're about a week before that. And so hopefully this will be out by the time the 1st of May gets here. It's not too late to volunteer for one of those opportunities with the Birmingham Bar. If you're in Birmingham, or if you're listening to this from another state, you could probably find that your state bar or local bar has a Law Day activity. I know the Alabama State Bar is encouraging people to go to their classrooms and their community and talk about civics education, because it's such an important thing to discuss. When you go into the classrooms, Leslie, do you get a good response to the civics education and the reading in the classroom?
Yes, it is so fun to read to those children and then to give them a copy of the book. They are allowed to ask questions, and so engaging in that way is very fun. My background is in elementary education, so it brings me back to the bachelor's degree that I got and the just the wonderful times I had connecting with kids.
That's awesome. Well, not only are you an upcoming officer in the Birmingham Bar Association, you're going to be president next year. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I'm president-elect this year, and I will be the president for 2027.
Right. So not only are you the president-elect of the Birmingham Bar Association, you're also involved in other community activities. Tell us about Salsa Showdown, what it supports, and what it is.
So Salsa Showdown is a fundraiser for the Sidewalk Film Festival. Birmingham hosts the Sidewalk Film Festival in August every year. It's a 3-day film festival, independent films. So you've got filmmakers from all over the United States and some that are international that make films. They submit them. There's a whole group of volunteers that screen the films and recommend what should be shown at the festival. There's a lot of work that goes into this, but Salsa Showdown is where local restaurants will submit their salsas that are judged. I am a judge. They're judged blind, so I don't know where they come from. I make notes, and then they're rated on a scale of 1 to 3, with 1, I think maybe 3 being the best. I can't remember the judging criteria, but then there are awards given. So the judges have an award, and then there's a People's Choice Award that people can vote on what they think the best salsa is.
That's a lot of fun. And so tell us a little more about the Sidewalk Film Festival. I know that's a big draw of bringing people to Birmingham. What kind of films do you see there? And if somebody wants to come participate in the Sidewalk Film Festival, what should they do?
So if they want to participate, they can go to www.sidewalk.org and they can click on the link for festival information, and they can buy tickets for the whole weekend. They can buy one-day tickets. They can buy tickets for just individual films. Once we get closer to the date of the festival, they will have descriptions of the films and trailers so people can make their selections. But the films that are shown vary, and it's anywhere from short documentary films to feature films, narrative films, some films that are focusing on LGBTQ issues, films that are about Black and African American issues, films that center around local Alabama stories or people. So there's just something for everyone there, and it is a wonderful way to get to know Birmingham better if you don't know it. And to also learn new things by watching a film.
That's awesome. And I forgot to cover this, but the Salsa Showdown is coming up in early May too. I think you said that was May 9th.
It is. It's Saturday, May 9th. It's at Cahaba Brewing. I don't recall the cost of a ticket to enter. It may be free, but don't quote me on that. But it allows you access to taste 5 or 6 different restaurants' salsas, and then to vote. There'll be, I think, live music. I think also on that date, Cahaba is hosting a Mother's Day bazaar where there will be lots of independent artists that have things to sell. So if you're looking for a Mother's Day gift last minute, you should come check it out and enjoy some salsa.
Well, who isn't looking for a Mother's Day gift last minute?
Right.
Well, that sounds like a great way to spend a Saturday in Birmingham. But you are a big fan of supporting the arts, and I know that you're also involved with the Bare Hands. Is that right?
It's Bare Hands Inc. Yes. So it is another local nonprofit that supports arts in the community arts. They also put on Taco Fest, which is May 19th this year. And that is a festival where a bunch of taco trucks come and you can sample tacos from, say 20 vendors. It may be more. It varies from year to year. There's face painting. There's local art that you can purchase. That is also a fundraiser for their big festival, which is in November, Dia de los Muertos, November 2nd. It's at Sloss Furnace. Both of these events are at Sloss Furnace. And Dia de los Muertos in English is Day of the Dead, and it is the festival that originated in Oaxaca, which was to remember your loved ones. And so people create altars for those who have passed with their favorite pieces of food, things that they enjoyed. It's just a really beautiful way to remember our loved ones and our friends who have passed away, and to just keep their memory alive.
That's great. What made you get interested in supporting the arts so much? Why do you think that's important?
I think that the arts really enrich our community and our lives. I am not as creative as some of these people who are creating movies or putting up altars for Day of the Dead, and I just appreciate people who can put things together in a way and help me see something that I probably would never have done myself. I think that the arts help us understand maybe people that we otherwise wouldn't understand better. They broaden our horizons, and I think it's just important that we're always growing and learning and seeing new things. And I think art allows us to do that in a way that's enjoyable.
100%. Well, I know you and Freddie, your husband, have a relatively small law firm there in Birmingham. How do you balance wanting to give back to your community, wanting to serve in the bar, and doing all those things while also practicing law?
Well, it's important to both of us that we take some time for ourselves, and that means together as a couple, but also individually. I enjoy running early in the morning by myself or with him. He normally does run with music though, so I like to listen to the birds and smell the spring air and just kind of clear my head and get ready for a day, a long day if I'm going to have one. But we also travel a lot and love experiencing new cultures and places and food. And we make it a priority to try to take a trip once a year for about 2 weeks and just get away and unplug.
Why do you think that's important when you are running a small firm to take time for yourself with exercise and travel, but also make time for the community and serving the community and your local bar association?
Well, I think to be able to give that much of yourself, you've got to recharge your batteries because they can get drained. And so in order to do that, you've got to take a step back and just turn everything off and regroup. And traveling allows you to do that. Exercise allows you to do that. And we cannot pour into others if we are empty ourselves.
No question about that. How do you make it a priority in your firm and for the other members of your firm and your team to serve the community and be active in their local bar associations or trial lawyers or whatever else they're active in?
Well, our firm culture is really, we appreciate and encourage people to get involved and to go take CLE and to learn. And so if that means that they need to travel or leave the office, or if they're out, we will ensure that their caseload is covered or hearings are covered, so they have the freedom and the flexibility and the sense of relief that everything's handled if they're out or want to go and enrich themselves, to get CLE credit and to enhance their knowledge.
Well, as you know, the name of this podcast is More Than a Lawyer. What does it mean to be more than a lawyer to you?
I think that to me, it's who I am to my family, who I am to the community that I serve, to the members of my church. I wear many hats, but when I go home or when I'm at a family gathering, I take the hat of lawyer off and I become a daughter. I become a daughter-in-law. I become a sister-in-law. I become an aunt. And that's important because just because I am a lawyer doesn't mean I act like one in every single setting. And I'm a human being first. I'm a lawyer second. And I think we need to always remember that our humanity is important. And it's hard, I think, for some people to see beyond just being a lawyer because there's, many people that have a negative impression of lawyers.
Well, as you know, and as I know, lawyers are involved in almost every service organization and community organization out there. And that's what we're here to highlight. So thank you for sharing your experiences with the many, many things you do outside of being a lawyer and also your experience at the firm. We appreciate you joining us for More Than a Lawyer, and we'll see you next time.
Great, Christy. Thank you so much. Enjoyed it.
You've been tuning into More Than a Lawyer with your host, attorney Christy Crow. You can find this show on all the major platforms, including YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on our website, www.jinxcrow.com. Thank you for your positive reviews, comments, questions, and for sharing this show with others.